Hello everybody, welcome to my first non-podcast video. Well, it's still a video about podcasting, it's just, this is from like a different angle. So I recently did a poll on my Instagram, I'll put it here if I remember, and it showed that about 90% of the people that voted on the poll said that they had wanted to start a podcast, a YouTube channel, or something of the sort at some point. After seeing that, I was like, oh, I kind of need to just show people how to do this, because I saw, first of all, a lot of funny people saying that they wanted to do that and I want to watch their content. Or I just think it's good to just have as much content from as many people as possible, and there's like so much room for opportunity, so I don't know why people don't give it a shot. There's plenty of things that could factor into whether you want to start one or not, and this is going to apply for YouTube, podcasts, any type of thing that you might want to do. Now, I know everyone has different circumstances and different reasons to why they have or have not done one so far, so let's just get into how to start a podcast or YouTube channel. First thing we're going to go over is an analysis. We're going to analyze, do you have what it takes? No, we're going to analyze, do you have the time, the resources, the location, all that stuff. Plus, you also need to have an idea, like, first and foremost, figure out, what do I want a podcast or make a YouTube channel about? What do I want to make content about? What do I want to make my TikTok page about? What do I want to do all this for? Because that helps you find out who your audience is. And when you know who your audience is, it's much easier to make videos for them. That is a mistake that I made very early on. It still is this way. My podcast is so general that people don't really know, like, if they're even a fan of it, because it's hard to even describe to somebody else, you know? So I wish I did that different in the first place, but now I'm kind of getting comfortable with what it is, and I think that there's plenty of opportunity for other people to find, like, niche things, like if you want to do just sports or just hip-hop or just pop culture or whatever. Then you also want to find out, okay, am I going to do this by myself? Like most podcasts, I'd say a significant number of them have multiple people involved with every single one. Whether that means you have a cameraman, one person in front of the camera, or that means you got one guy just as editing and all the other stuff, and then one person just as personality, or you'll have a guest with you at all times, or not even a guest, I guess a co-host, or multiple co-hosts, or just have like a whole panel of people you can have. Same thing for a YouTube channel. Are you going to make it with a bunch of people? Are you going to be like RDC World and those guys, do it all together? Are you going to be like some other people that do their channels, like the David Dobrik and all them? They have like their whole squad together. Then you also got to think, do I have a place to do it and time to do it? Because you want to be able to make a good product. And if you want to post once a week, which is something we'll get into later, you're going to want to make sure you can put enough time into where it's a good product. So for me, when I did 2 a week, it took me about 10 total hours. About 4 hours of just recording, then about 6 hours of editing, uploading, and rewatching, making sure I didn't forget anything and miss any kinks in the system. And then also, I guess you could add on some time for just planning it out, making sure that everything's on time, on schedule. You got to be very punctual with people because, I bring on guests. So for me, it's making sure other people are on their schedule. But you wouldn't have to worry about that. Most people don't have to worry about that with making YouTube or a podcast, unless you want to have a podcast with guests on it, of course. But once you have all that figured out, once we have analyzed the situation that we have, now we're going to move on to the next step, and that's creation. So I'd suggest, even if you are just making a podcast, to just make a YouTube channel. Just make a YouTube channel. It always will help to have a visual aspect to it. And even if you're not making one and expecting like a ton of views, that's completely fine. Just do it for yourself. Like, enjoy your own content. Your own content should make you happy. I love watching my old podcasts. They're so much fun. I love seeing the way that we interact, like me and my friends. I love meeting new people. It's all awesome. So I think recording that and putting it in a visual form and audio, I think that's key. Now for my podcasters, I want you guys to know you have to make an RSS, which is something that sends everything out to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that stuff. It'll send it all out for you, but RSS, if you look that up, I'm sure there's other things that'll take you the rest of the way, but since this isn't just about podcasts, it's about making videos, I'm just going to move on. But that is something that you will need. And then say you want to brand yourself. Let's do that. Let's brand yourself. You go on Fiverr. Fiverr, obviously I'm not being paid to advertise this to you. It's just something I use, and I think that it works. Well, obviously it works. But what it is it's just people that are graphic designers are kind of like just put their work up for sale. And you can just go find someone. You can message them, say, I run the DOD-Cast. I want this logo, and it does this and this and that and that and this and that, and I want it to look like this. And you can pay between $5 to like $30 depending on what kind of quality you want. I stuck with the 5 because I'm cheap. And I ended up getting a product like this or wherever I put it. Maybe I'll put it on both. Now on for the most expensive and the toughest part for a lot of people. It's the equipment. The equipment is the thing that most people are going to probably click on the video for, because in the end they don't really care how I think you should go about it. They just will care like, all right, how'd you do it and stay on a budget? So I was lucky enough to stumble into an iPhone 12 and have a really good camera. Like, I think this camera is great for, basically nothing, because I had an upgrade on my phone. So if you have an iPhone 12 or even an iPhone probably 10, 11, I'm sure they all probably picture the same, then just use it. That's a great camera to use, and it's easy setup. You have it with you at all times. You won't lose it. It's honestly pretty good. But you can also just go to the Micro Center or go to Amazon and look up Micro Center cameras, and you can find one for $50. That's cheap and works well enough. Because really, in the end, we just want to get started. The hardest part is just doing it. Everyone has great ideas. Everyone has great thought process. Everyone has everything figured out. But no one wants to go do something. It's fascinating. Everyone has such great ideas and ambitions. Just got to execute on them. Got to go do them. But again, I'm sidetracking. Anyway, camera, $50 when sometimes they can cost upward of $1,000. We ain't spending $1,000 on something that we won't even know if we're gonna do for more than 5 weeks. Then I got this mic. This is a Toner TC30 mic. This mic is fire. I love this mic. This is probably my favorite mic. It was super cheap. $30, like, come on, that's a bargain. And it came on time, and I think I might have extras. If someone wants a Toner mic, let me know. I mean, like, I don't know if I'll give it to you for free, but like, I'm not gonna sell it to you for $30. That'd be silly. So yeah, I have some extras, and these are some really good mics. They have a good sound quality. I think I sound pretty good right now. What do you think? Leave it in the comments. Like the video. Subscribe maybe. I don't know. And I also got this other Toner mic. This one. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Holy gee. Oh, my Atlanta. So this one is $50. It's not as good. It was the TC777, I think. And it's just not as good. So I wouldn't suggest this one over this one. But if you want to get two mics for cheap, $50, $30, $80 total, when mics usually cost around 100 something, then I'd suggest this mic. Also, make sure that whatever mic you get, they're USB mics, because you want to make it simple for yourself. All that other technical guru magic, I don't do that. I don't have an adapter that takes the plugins, and then I plug that in, and I plug that in, and then it saves it. I don't know how and all that. I just have this one little thing right here. I'm going to pull it up. I'm using it right now. It just takes these USB ports and plugs it into your laptop, and then you can record stuff with applications I'm going to tell you about next. But this is just a USB to USB-C adapter. You get that. You can plug 4. Sometimes you can get one that has 12 mics in. Craziness. And you can record it all on the software I'm going to get to right now. So that's $80. You got the camera for $50. Now we're going to talk about Reaper. Reaper is a audio recording software, and it's first 60 days free. Then after that, you have to pay $60. I think it's a one-time payment. I'm not too certain yet because I haven't passed the free trial yet. So I'm still running on that 60 days. And once you get that, it's so much better than trying to record with QuickTime Player or something that's free. You're much better off just spending the money and actually being able to have your sound come out of both mics and set up the mic properly. It's so much better. You might have to look up some tutorials on how to use Reaper, but I ain't going to do that. So you can look up some by yourself. Then say you need something like a desk. If you're doing a podcast, you need a desk. If you're doing a YouTube channel, you might need a background. I have a pretty shitty background, but my boy Jerry Pellegrini hooked me up with this Gandhi poster because, he's just dope. And I think I got some other stuff coming at some point, hopefully. But yeah, so if you want a background or a desk, it's probably going to cost you less than $100. Let's keep it under $100. Everything, I don't like spending $100 on anything. I got this desk, which is meant to be for one person to have their stuff in front of them. You're supposed to sit inside the little pocket here. you're supposed to have stuff in front of you and then a little side desk to the left, and it's just made for one person. But what I did was I took it, I inverted it, I put the big side for me and my laptop and the small side for my guest. So you got to find something and use your brain a little. Be creative. Find something that's cheap. I got this for $70, $80 about. We'll just say 80 to keep it higher. And yeah, I assembled it myself. It came pretty quickly. I assembled it in like a couple hours. It's really simple, really good desk. I don't know what kind it is, so don't ask, but it works well. And I'm sure for YouTube setup, you'll find some great stuff too. You need obviously other things like lights, which we're going to get into now, but you need like a nice background. You want people to look at some good things, you know? It's not just about your face, you know? I'm only so handsome. People only want to look at me for so long. But now on to the lights. The lights I have are kick-ass. These are dope lights. Again, I kind of backed my way into them. They got sent to my aunt accidentally, and she didn't know what to do with them. So she was like, "You want these basically studio quality lights?" I was like, "Yeah." And they're about $80 a piece, but you can get ring lights, like LED ring lights, for $15, and you just get like legit 10 of them and just stack them and shit. Might have to do some, Frankenstein work with them, but I'm sure you can find some ring lights online, something cheap, just to give you some good lighting, especially if you're using a micro center camera or a small camera like that. They don't have the best quality, so you need it to be bright. But if you are interested in the $80 lights that I have, the best part of my setup for sure, they are called the Falcon Eye lights, and they're just a square lighting system. I'd show you, but that would mean I have to put the light on the camera, and I think that's silly. And they're not the best to set up anywhere. If you could hang it, that'd be really cool, but I can't. But yeah, they just plug into the wall. You set it. You put the release as low as possible, so it gets out as much light as you can, and it just illuminates the entire place. It changed the game for me entirely. And yeah, that's pretty much all the equipment that you're gonna need to get something started. Now, obviously, you can go drop $2,000-$3,000 on your setup. You can get, a couple $100 mics. You can get both of them. You can get a couple $100 lights. You can get a new laptop that's just specifically for this. I hope you have a Mac though. You can get a new laptop. You can get whatever $1,500 camera that's like studio quality and they use on like the set of like Iron Man or whatever. But most of us don't want to spend that type of money. No one wants to spend that type of money. So if you just want to get something started, I'd suggest just buying the stuff that I said, making sure you have a little idea of what you want. You don't even need to have everything figured out. And then just make something, please. Because in the end, that's kind of why I'm making the video. People are clicking on it because they want to make something. They want to make videos. They want to put their content out there, their thoughts, everything that they do. They want to put it out there. But they just don't have, the gumption. They're like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. And if anyone wants to know how to do anything, please put your questions in the comments. Please send your questions directly to me. Most of you people will know me, I feel like. So you can even text me. You can DM me. I'll find a way to just help you out with anything. I can help you with mics. I can help you with lights. I can help you with anything. So that's going to conclude my video on how to create a podcast / YouTube channel. I hope that this helps some people. I hope that it keeps it cheap. I hope that anybody that feels the need to can reach out to me. And if you enjoyed the video, then, hate to be corny, but like the video. Well, give me the thumbs up. Feels good. And if you do that, also subscribe. Since you're there, you're already down at the bottom of the page down there. And, since you're scrolling right now, you might as well leave a comment as well. And if you want to share it to someone that you know wants to do stuff like this. It'll help them tremendously, I promise. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next week on a podcast with God knows who. Peace.